it's me, Renee. I'm back with a little Eurovisionathon update. So, I don't know if you're curious to know how it goes for me or not. People haven't really commented, but yeah. Anywho, I've finished some books, and then I have not finished others, but I've been working through it for slower than it. So this week I'm kind of focusing on bookish books because of International Book Day on Tuesday. So Tuesday I started, and then yesterday I finished Blanke Ark by Johanna Schreiber, which this is a Swedish author. So far as now, I don't really think she exists in other languages, though Jenny Colgan did post some quote here, blurb. I was like, why have you blurbed it? I don't think it's available in English. Maybe Jenny Colgan speaks Swedish? I don't know. But anywho, this is second in a trilogy set in the publishing world in Sweden. I read the first book a few years ago, and then I thought, you know what? Let's read the second book for Eurovision because it's Sweden, it's books. Why not? And yeah, so I read the first one, and then picked up this one now, and I was like, oh, okay. Because the first thing I was like, oh, that's what is what's happening. Because the first one was about Emily. This one is about Clara. Though I mean they're friends, so it's not like way off, but I kind of thought that the whole series was going to be about Emily, but no, this is about Clara. So yeah, I suppose it's more of a companion trilogy than a direct series trilogy. But yeah, and also honestly, I kind of like the first book a bit more. I like this one. I don't know. This one kind of felt a bit more traditional. Like this, this is a story of editor who falls in love with one of the writers, and of course that's not something you should do. And it's also about like just kind of life in general in the publishing world. The publishing stuff I liked, and I liked Clara's like family life because there's some family issues and stuff. But yeah, the love story, I didn't hate it, but I kind of felt like because there was this miscommunication, I was like, no, of course, don't think this. You have to think that this is probably this, not this, because I'm not gonna say what it is, but I mean, it was just kind of this obvious misdirection. I was like, oh my god, why do you even? Yeah, it was quite annoying, really, quite annoying. But yeah, but still, all in all, I quite enjoyed it. Well, maybe like 3.5. Yeah, I would say 3.5 for me. And the last book is coming out soon this year. I don't really have a date for when it's coming out, but I think it's coming out this year. So that's, and I just kind of checked out today, like, who is that about? Like, oh, it's those characters. Because if it's companion like this, you probably already have met the characters, and yes, we have. So that's gonna be also be a bit interesting. But yeah, now I finished this one for Sweden, and then I also finished the. Give me a little moment. I also finished Real Urge again, pronouncing this out loud, by Xian Lai. So this is a story about the author behind Tintin, the famous comics, and this it was quite interesting, I would say, because I mean I'm a 90s kid. I love the Tintin TV series when I was a kid. There was also the Tintin comics. I read a few of those. The Tintin movie from 2011. I love it so much. It's amazing. But didn't really know that much about Urge, 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 something like that. The author behind it. I do know a bit. Like there's been some controversy towards like some of the comics. And then listening to this was like, okay, so yeah, he worked during the Second World War for a company that's like kind of it's talk about it being a pirate newspaper. So I'm not quite sure. I didn't really grasp what that meant, but I think like kind of meant that it was slightly anti-Nazi, or slightly Nazi friendly, but yeah, kind of. I don't know. And then after the war, he ended up not really getting that big of punishment, but a lot of his colleagues did. And that kind of made me think like, so how should you punish people? Because this was a guy that I mean, as usual, like people need a job, and he didn't work directly for Nazis. He didn't torture anyone. He just worked for a company that had that yeah that was kind of I suppose kind of Nazi fulfilled in a way, or like like or like they were kind of yeah connected to them in some way I think. But he himself didn't really do anything bad. He did not like go around saying Jews should die. He did make some caricature comics like just before the war and whatnot, but he didn't like do anything drastic himself. And I suppose that's kind of debate, like how should everyone that does something icky or something off, should everyone be treated exactly the same? Like, should you treat Hitler the same as a, a German person who uh, who worked for the Nazis but like did just assistant thing? He didn't really do big things. Like, how should you do that really? And then like also like after the war, like how should you yeah how should you punish them really? And that kind of made me think, and that was kind of interesting. Another aspect was that in the beginning, Hurt he didn't really he kind of just wrote things that he wanted to do and didn't really think about like how how the things he wrote impact people. And then sorry, after a while, he got a friend that was his friend had like Chinese family, but he lived like most of his childhood in Belgium, so he spoke pretty good French. And then they become friends, and then he talked about how some Chinese people don't really like the depiction of Chinese or like Asian people in his comics. And then because of her being friends with this person, he thought like, yeah, maybe it's not that nice. And then the next time he wrote a comic, he started doing research. He started instead of just thinking about this is probably how it is. He went to a museum. He went to archives. He went to like try to find real pictures of China. So like he kind of try to do it right and more correctly. And I kind of like that. I mean, I suppose it kind of shows how like a lot of people can be ignorant. I feel like it's kind of also a bit like true because I feel like a lot of people in the beginning, if they're not friends with queer people, if they're not friends with POC people, if they're just inside their own bubble, you might not think how the things that you do, how they will impact how other people, like how important it is to have things correctly done. Because if like because I mean also like this was in the early 1900s, so back in then you have like media was like a lot of stereotypes and whatnot, and like not a lot of people were like doing own voices. They weren't really giving them their voice. It was just kind of talking about them instead of having them at the table. And then yeah, if you meet people from other places, other point of view than yourself, then you'll understand that oh yeah, this and this idea that I have, that's not true. That's just something people have told me. That's not true. Life is more complex. It's not that easy, and I should not do it this way. I should do research and stuff. And I also kind of goes a bit into like how I feel like people can change. I feel like sometimes in today's world you kind of often make, oh, this guy said something all off about this guy. This guy should die. He should not get any worth. He should not get any chances. He should just be cancelled. And I'm like, for some things, yeah, but like most of the time, I feel like you can. I mean, second chances is a thing. Second and third chances is a thing. Like most of us are gonna do something stupid sometimes. Like me, sometimes it's not the same, but like yeah, I mean, people make mistakes. Like me, sometimes I am late for appointments, but should then not be in people's life because I'm sometimes late. I mean, you should. I mean, yeah, you should try to not be late, but like also you should have take people who are and give them choice, give them chances. So yeah, it was kind of also interesting, and then also kind of interesting because like Hurd, he wasn't Catholic in a way really. He was raised slightly Catholic, but didn't really have any personal faith. But then towards his later life, he ended up being a big John Juan. He had all the affairs with all people. And then after a while, he had an affair. Like, okay, you know what? This person is the love of my life, not my wife, but like this person. And then I thought, yeah, but I don't want to divorce her. But I'm not in love with my wife anymore. What am I gonna do? And I'm like, don't. I mean, if you're in love with your wife and if divorce is a thing, divorce it. Don't live in limbo. It's just stupid. Of course, in the end, end up divorcing their wife. But yeah, and yeah, it was kind of very interesting to read. I would say it was quite interesting. It is kind of 8 pages, 8 hour audiobook, so not like huge really. And yeah, I would recommend it if you heard about Tintin or if you just like memoirs about people in general. I suppose you don't need to have knowledge about people for wanting to read about them. So yeah, so that's what I have read. I have not continued, not like on purpose, but yeah, I've not worked more in the mastering the art of French murder. I want to read more in it, but just haven't prioritized it. This one is still like on my current reads project. But yeah, also because of this being international, well, because Tuesday being International Book Day, I'm kind of having like a book week. I feel like book week, like bookishly focused books. So up next, I kind of want to do The Woman in the Library by Sulari Gentil. This came out actually 2 years ago now, and it's not like a big book. It's 200 pages. It's a library book, so and also February is like also a library readathon. So I feel like I do want to start this one next. I'm feeling thinking, and then after that I have 80 Days to Elsewhere, which is a book where they travel around the world, a bit in Europe, but also like in Asia. So yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm going to use this one for something during Eurovision. And then also we have The Bookish Life of Nina Hill by Abby Waxman. This is all about like a typical introvert who works in a bookstore. She loves the bookstore, loves being by herself, and then suddenly a lot of people want to get to know her. So it's kind of about introvert kind of having to make new friends and whatnot. But yeah, it's about bookish person. So yeah, I've heard good things about this one. Came out a few years ago. It's set in the US, but I feel like maybe because it's about books, probably maybe they mention some famous European books, and in that way, I can use for Eurovision fun. I don't know. Like right now, I can't really say if it's usable for Eurovision fun, but I suppose putting it here like as a maybe, like anyway, I want to read it soon, so yeah. And also, I suppose I don't really have to just read Eurovision fun books in May and April, but a lot of them are gonna be that. Sorry. Then I recently, well, today, went to the library and got 10 Tomatoes That Changed the World by William Alexander. It's a nonfiction, as you might guess. It came out last year. I'm curious. Did it come out last year? No, actually 2 years ago. But yeah, it's about tomatoes, and I'm thinking probably about tomatoes from around the world, about something at least. So I'm thinking this could probably be used for Greece or Italy because I feel like that's kind of Italian, not Italian, that's kind of tomato rich countries. So yeah, I think yeah, I might do that one next week with me. But yeah, I kind of got it for Eurovision. So yeah, and you know what? I'm gonna I'm gonna do a little unboxing right now because I got this in the library in the mail. And I thought, why not? I mean, it's just the one book, something I'm just gonna unbox it right now and here for you guys. Da 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 da. I think I might know what it is, but I do sometimes kind of order books in like when I'm tired, so I don't quite remember because it takes a few days, 2 weeks before it comes in the mail. So it's like, is this book or this book? Because the front doesn't say which book it is. So, yes, it is that one. Airs and Graces, a real spinous mystery by Reese Bowen. So this is a spy, but it's also like a spy mystery. It's a series. And yeah, I've heard quite interesting things about this one. I want to read more spy books. So yeah, I think this one. Blah, 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 blah. Oh yeah, it's actually about Australian. Interesting. But I do have an Australian book for Eurovision, so I suppose this is just kind of a general book that I just bought. I suppose I might pick it up, and I suppose sometimes you kind of don't really know if a book can work for Eurovision before you finish it because you don't really know all the places it mentions before you have finished it. But yeah, and yeah, that's it for today. And yeah, I suppose a bit of a more pleased update today than last time because yeah, haven't been that bad of a reading time lately. So yeah, I'll see you soon. Bye.